Welcome Flyffers to the patch rundown of the patch 1.0.11. We will also be covering the new summer event, and this patch rundown is a bit later because the patch got postponed, but now here we are. Let's get right into it. So the first change is that aggressive monsters will now always target the closest player. This is really good to have your ringmaster safe, and especially when they are releasing new dungeons in the upcoming content update. This will make a big difference on how to tank it and make it way easier. Then the next change is the plate skill armor penetrate. The probability increased to 90% in PvP. Currently there are not a lot of active PvP plates on Totemia's server, but I really hope that this change brings more diversity into PvP and brings another class back to the game, and I'm looking forward to this. Updated all game translations. This is something I think personally should be done before the game is released, and only, I don't know, there was no good briefing and checking, and they released the game with a lot of mistakes, which was actually easy to prevent because there were lots of players that were engaged in the translation team, and they would have done checking on a test server if they would have been allowed to. Another change is to permanently reduce the price of the Scroll of Sprint to 80 F points. This change makes a lot of sense because now that you're only allowed to use one piece of speed scroll, so you can either use the Scroll of Sprint or the Scroll of Velocity, and the Scroll of Velocity gives an additional jump height, which means the Scroll of Velocity is now a PvP item, that because in PvP the jump height is really useful, and in PvE you now have the cheaper option of the Scroll of Sprint that gives the same movement speed with no jump height. So this is a good change for all the PvE players, especially for hit and run PvE players that are reliant on Scroll of Sprint, like for example a full int hit and run Psykeeper. Now this is the change, probably the best change they have done since the server is released, honestly. Pop cranks now have a fire element, and this may sound like a small change, but this is actually a real good balance change for the late game, because in the late game an AoE character can farm twice as much EXP than the 1v1 character by only having half of the gear of the 1v1 character. So if your 1v1 character would be fully maxed and the knight, for example, would have half its gear, the knight would still make twice as much EXP as the 1v1 character. And this is due to pop cranks not having an element, and your 1v1 damage is heavily reliant on having element on your weapon that is better than the element you're fighting against from the monster, and then you permanently have to have a good kill speed. You need to have the fire damage increase stone on top of your weapon, and this is the only way you can effectively level at the moment as the 1v1 character that doesn't feel extremely bad compared to AoE. And now this is finally also available in higher levels and smaller is the gap between AoE and 1v1, so really good change right here. And then they moved the guild duels to channel 2, which obviously makes sense because channel 1 is pretty crowded and it can result in a lot of lags for players that don't have the best end equipment. So good change right here. Now let's finish it up with the summer event. The summer event is starting right now after the patch was applied, and it is lasting 12 days until the 23rd of August. And to participate, it's pretty simple. You just level as you usually do. It doesn't really matter. You just have to make sure that the monsters you're killing are 15 levels or higher, and they are not allowed to be 10 levels lower than yourself. I would highly recommend just leveling at your normal spot. Don't go lower just because you have like a better kill speed or whatever. The event in general is not as rewarding, so I recommend scooping in the EXP as well during the event. So how does the event work and what can you actually farm? The monsters are dropping beach balls and parasols, and you can always exchange 15 of each for either a beach box A or a beach box B. Then there's something, a clue right here. If we are taking a look at the beach box A and the beach box B, we see only low spros, only low power-ups. The CS set that's in there is actually time limited, so nothing of great value right here in those normal boxes. So they tried to add a Penya sync by allowing you to upgrade with Penya 1.5 mil to superior beach boxes. And if we're taking a look at the superior ones, we can see right away we are having good permanent, good power-ups like Upcut Stone, Grilled Eel and such. And we also now have the opportunity to redeem Power Die 6, which we are not able to do in the first part. And we are now able to have the beachwear permanently. So no time limit here, and it's important to note that there is no soul linked on this beachwear and swimwear costume box, which means again they failed to design an event that is free to play, players friendly, and gives them the opportunity to farm something that they can sell to donators and make their living this way. So if those sets have like a speed percentage effect, this can be a way for free-to-play players to make a lot of cash out of this event. Other than that, this is also the first event where you're able to farm an upgrade scroll. So at a chance of 0.5%, you're able to farm a scroll of Sprotect in the event. Other than that, all the things that is mentioned below here is mostly worthless, especially the elixirs, because everyone uses the flask, because there's a 13-stat difference. Yeah, so about this. And then we've already seen ABET trends right here. So depending on how many you're getting for this, just an assumption, we may be seeing some ABET trends PvP in the future. So if I can get my hold on a lot of those, I will show you how to play ABET trends in PvP. But let's see if this is actually possible or not. And now we talked a bit about that they have a Penya sync here with the 1.5 million Penya. I did not have the time to do it yet, but there will for sure be a video that will calculate all the rewards that are in there and will make sure that you save all your items until this video is here, because this will explain if it's actually worth to upgrade your boxes or if it's better to use your Penya to actually buy F coins from others. So don't fall for the Penya sync already. Please save all your items until the new video is here, and it will explain you exactly if you should do it or if you should not do it and upgrade your boxes to superior. Yeah, that was the patch rundown. I hope this was helpful. And don't forget to subscribe and make sure to check out my Twitch so you don't miss any of the streams. Cheers!